So the other day I was flicking through Instagram, and to be honest with you, I really need to stop doing that because I keep buying things. Anyway, I stumbled across this. Have you seen this? It's an under the cabinet light. When the door of the cabinet is closed, no light, door opens, and there's a light. And I thought, that is pretty sweet. I have to have them. So then I switched over to Amazon, found it, and I ordered a 10-pack. That's what we're going to look at in this video. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. My channel is dedicated to reviewing mostly as seen on TV items. I look at some consumer gadgets, other household items. Once in a while, I do a little bit of a DIY just because I like to. If that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below. That way, you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. One more thing, don't forget to check down in the description for my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I would love it if you would follow me there too. Now, let's take a closer look at these cabinet lights to see if they're any good. Here is our under the cabinet lights. I also have some of these batteries. The batteries are labeled A23. So that's the kind of battery you need. I just ended up picking the ones they recommended off of Amazon. Actually, they recommended the Amazon ones and I didn't want those. So I got the Energizer ones. All right, so here's what it looks like. I have 10 of these. They are individually wrapped. Okay, the Ziploc, there we go. So in here I have a screw, a little clamp piece, and the light itself. It's pretty simple. There's a plunger right here which will actually go against the door. So when the door closes, it's going to shut the light off, and when it opens, the light will be on. It's pretty cool. I will say, from what I can tell, this only works for the type of hinge, the under the cabinet hinge, if it's one of those expandable ones. I'll show a picture right here what I'm talking about. If you have other hinges, it probably won't work just because the connector, but I will try it different ways. All right, so what I'm going to do now, mind you, these 3 lights are going to light up in just a second because I'm going to put this battery in just to test it out. All right, there it is. All right, so there's the lights on, battery works. So when the door closes, no light. When the door opens, lights up. So it's supposed to light up underneath our cabinetry. So I'm excited. There really is no back to here except for this when you hook it on. Now there are 4 little plugs which correspond to these 4 pieces. And so when you get it all set up, that's what you do. So let's go install it. So we're going to install the first light right here up at the top. And although it did come with this little tiny screw, I'm not going to use the one that it came with. I'm actually going to remove the screw from the actual hinge here and reuse that. So let's remove it right now. Now you notice that my door fell forward, and that's because this hinge was actually holding that there. So I'm going to make sure when I reattach this that I make sure my door is recentered like it's supposed to be. To make it easy for myself, I actually put the screw in first. I grab my drill, I put pressure on the screw. I get it started, and now I'm going to try to hold it in place. A little tight, put this back up. Now, what I want to do before I try installing the light, I want to make sure my door closes correctly. So the door looks good. It opens and closes correctly. Now we want to install our light. All right, so now let's put our battery in. It just goes in real easy, flat side to the spring. Make sure our light works. And then there are these pegs. Let me get a zoom in real fast. You see these 4 pegs? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they correspond to the back of this plug, or this light. So let's hook it up. It's in nice and tight, so when we close it, the light should go off. And we open it, the light goes on, off, on, off, on. That's pretty cool. So I'm just going to leave this one on for a few days. What I'm testing is, I guess the light's getting dim over time, just really how long it will last. I know this is more of a battery test, but it's important to know realistically how long things will last. So I'll leave this on and we'll check back in throughout the week. So this cabinet door opens the other way, and as you notice, the plunger here is towards the top,
And it's the same installation. You just have it tipped upside down. So when it closes, it'll work that way. But what do we see here? It's our reverse osmosis filter from K-Flow that goes underneath the cabinet. Still working good. Anyway, so here's another light just installed, pretty easy. If you're looking for optimal under the cabinet lights, put 2 in. Check how bright it is in there.
So, tell me, what do you think of these cabinet lights? Is this something that you have used? Would you be interested in having one of these? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you.
This has been running now for 20 hours, and you can see there's a definite difference between this one and this one where I just installed a brand new bulb. So over time, you're definitely going to have to replace your bulbs. So as you are using these, make sure you have a few extra batteries on hand in case it gets dark.
In this video, we are taking a closer look at these under the cabinet lights. And so let's talk about it. Do I like them? Sure. Do they do their job, or do they do what they say? Absolutely. If you look at this before and after shot, you're going to see that under the cabinet without a light is definitely darker than under the cabinet with the light. Well, that makes sense, right? One thing I was kind of disappointed is the versatility of the different hinges. It's really only one style hinge that I could really find that would work. Now, that doesn't mean you can't modify or put a piece of wood underneath your cabinet if you have different hinges, but that's just something else you're going to have to do in order to get these to work. It's not impossible, but it's definitely not as easy with the same hinges that I used in this video. Also, the battery life is a little concerning for me. I know 15, 20 hours sounds like a long time in the grand scheme of things, but opening and closing puts a wear on those batteries, and so that's one thing you're going to have to note. These batteries might have to be replaced more frequently than you would like. And they are a specialty type battery that's not just found everywhere. I mean, I'm sure some stores have it, but I had a hard time finding, so I had to order them online. Anyway, I like that it did light underneath my cabinet, and that is very convenient. But I also listed my cons. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. Also a link to the batteries that I purchased. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.
As I've been installing these, I've noticed that sometimes the unit would just stick in place and that's pointless. I need it to pop back out. So what I've ended up doing is pulling the plunger out a little and just turning it maybe to loosen it, because then I noticed it could release a lot easier. So you might get some of them that just stick in place, but if you fiddle around here and turn and twist that, it might loosen it up. I just wanted you to know that.
I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review for these under the cabinet lights. You know what? When we were installing these lights, we opened the cabinet and what did we see? My K-Flow reverse osmosis water filter that goes under the cabinet. Pretty sweet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link that video review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And by the magic of the internet, when you click right here, I'm going to join you at that review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe. I promise.